I'm making a game. Specifically a tabletop role-playing game. So if you don't know what that means, just think of D&D. It's similar to that. So why don't we get into this? So this game is going to be called Special Divisions. It's a TTRPG heavily inspired by Chainsaw Man. Because there's a lot of information that directly correlates to the series, the system will remain non-profit. Which also means it's free! Now, there's no need to go out and buy $60 books just to play pretend with your friends. Yay. So anyways, back to the system. Mechanics-wise, Special Divisions uses D&D 5e as a base for most of its standard RPG mechanics like stats, actions, etc. blah blah blah. I may take some time to develop unique mechanics regarding all that in the future, but for now at least expect part of the system to be like 5e. There are also mechanics inspired by 3.5 and Pathfinder, as well as Vampire the Masquerade. But you don't really need to know those systems to play this, so yeah. As for unique mechanics, whew, there's a lot of them, so let's hop into that. So I've stated before that the system is heavily inspired by Chainsaw Man, so the mechanics will revolve heavily around the subjects brought up in the series. Specifically devils. There are 4 classes / races in this game. Yes, they are the same in this system. Think of them more like playstyles rather than classes. There's Devil Hunters, which is a very versatile class that allows you to take up multiple devil abilities through contracts. You can mix and match abilities and kind of just get the kind of build that you just want. But each contract comes with a cost. There's devils. Yes, you could play as a devil in this system, and they're a little less versatile and more focused on their abilities. But, you know, they make up for it with their own unique abilities, depending on what kind of devil they are. Keep in mind, like, a bat devil's not gonna have the same abilities as, like, a snake devil or something, you know? Devils also have a pool of points, which are used to keep track of how many abilities they can use. Like, kind of like sorcery points in a way, for anyone who knows, like, Sorcerer from 5e. You can also play as a fiend, which plays similarly to devils, but it's weakened and has lower costs for its abilities. To make up for this, they have a little more versatility and have their own unique abilities that allow them to have access to their old abilities that they would have had as a devil. Fiends will also have a much easier time in the more social aspects of the game compared to their devil counterparts. Unless they're a more humanoid devil, like the angel devil or something. It is important to remember that social mechanics play a big role in this system as much as combat mechanics do. And last but not least, hybrids. If you want to play an aggressive combative class, then this is your playstyle. Unlike devils and fiends, they kind of rely on their health as a resource for their abilities. But they make up for it with a lot of health and a lot of damage. So the best way to play hybrid is to kind of just get in, do a lot of damage, and heal yourself at the same time. It's important to know that the whole system relies on a devil ranking system. This goes from 0 to 5. This scale being based on how feared the devil's name is. This goes from rank 0, being irrational fears, and to rank 5, being primal fears. Anyways, the rank of the devil will affect how you play the devil and what sort of contracts you can make with a devil as a human. Or devil hunter, you know, same thing. Abilities will also fall into the ranking system as well, with higher ranking abilities being much more high cost and low rank being low cost, you know, common sense. Keep that in mind when you're creating your character too. Fear is also a very important mechanic in this system and will hopefully drastically change how players approach combat and social encounters. As a devilkin, aka devil fiend hybrid, if you can make someone afraid of you, then you get advantage on your roll, which is basically just rolling 2 dice and taking the higher one. So definitely keep that in mind when fighting in general, or just being involved in a social situation. Spreading mass fear of yourself will also impact your strength as well, which is something that is mentioned in the document. So I've only touched on a small bit of the system itself. There's a lot of specifics and other mechanics which would take way too long to get over, so let's not do that. You could read everything yourself in the system's rules document, which is able to be publicly accessed now. Woo! As of now, the system is officially open for public playtesting. There is also a server in the description which will be used for playtesting purposes. This will also be my official public server. So everyone in the Himi server, thank you for participating. This will be my main server now. I hope to use the server as a space for the community to kind of come together, record information, show updates to the system, get feedback, get ideas, and just mess around and see what we can make with this system, you know? Like, I hope to make a strong community for this game, since the system really heavily relies on it. A lot of specific devil abilities are left very open and vague to allow the player or the storyteller, or dungeon master for those coming from D&D, to create their own abilities that work for them. Let's also try to keep this community clean. The last thing I want to do is spread toxicity on the internet. Oh yeah, important thing. I'm hoping to make this server LGBT friendly, so please be aware of that when you go into this server. I do not need edgy kids sprouting racial slurs or what other crap. Alright, this is meant to be a welcoming server and a community. So with that, happy playtesting everyone! And please do not be afraid to share feedback on the system. I want to make this as fun and balanced as possible. Look forward to seeing how this turns out.